Live from the SoCap Comedy Theater in beautiful downtown Toronto, it's And a Scotch Eggs Comedy Game Showdown. Please welcome your host, Dan Donnelly.
Hello, and welcome to Comedy Game Showdown. I'll be your host, Dan Donnelly. We have a great show in store for you tonight, but there were some audio level problems at the beginning of the live show, so once again I'm here in the studio re-recording a bit of the monologue until we can seamlessly transition back to the recording. If you were wondering why these episodes have been getting posted so late, this is why. Alright, back to the real show. Our theme for you tonight is screen time. That's TV and movies, because screens are, after all, our constant companions in this life. For most of us, they're the first thing we see in the morning and the last thing we see at night. But a word of warning to you, my fellow denizens of the screen-lit dark, for as Nietzsche said, sometimes when you stare into the abyss stares right back into you. And while that does sound pretty on-brand for someone who spent the last 10 years of his life in an insane asylum, if we learned anything from Edward Snowden, it's that when you're staring into the Black Mirror in the middle of the night, it's not Bloody Mary you need to be worried about. Alright, we have a great show for you tonight, but first, we have a brief word from our sponsor, Netflix. Are you tired of getting emotionally invested in a television show only for it to be renewed continually year after year, sucking hours and hours of your time for decades of your life? Well, no more. With Netflix, any show you like is guaranteed to be canceled within 8 episodes on a cliffhanger. Enjoy Netflix. Get your parents' password for Netflix. All right, guys, are you ready to get your show started for real? All right, let's bring up your teams. Introducing first the Cinemaniacs. Please welcome Sebastian D. Chow, Joseph Whittle, and Kanin Kuntz. And up against the Cinemaniacs, their mortal enemies, the Couch Potatoes. Please welcome Craig Fay, Amy Yu, and Dave Luca. All right, are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys in the audience ready?
Yeah.
Woo! All right. We're going to get started with a pop quiz. The first question, the category is Peekaboo, I See YouTube. The American Academy of Pediatrics has stated that children younger than 18 months should have no screen time at all, with one notable exception. What is it? Kanin.
Is that InfoWars?
Yeah. You got to get them early. Craig.
One of those Mr. Beast videos where he gives out $1 million because that's the only way that kid will be able to afford college.
Yes. Yes. 653 points a month for 30 years. Yes, Joseph.
Is it when mommy and daddy need a wine break?
Yes, mommy and daddy frequently need a wine break, and it's nice to have an electronic pacifier. The real answer is, of course, erotic Paw Patrol fan fiction. No, the real answer is video chat with grandparents and other family members. That's considered to be quality time with family instead of staring blankly into a shiny screen, proving that most people have not met the elderly. All right, moving on to the next question. The category is Roseanne Bard. In 2018, Roseanne Barr was written off the massively successful reboot of her 90s sitcom after a series of racist tweets. How was Roseanne Connor's departure explained in universe? Joseph.
Was she killed by a spider that was also kind of racist?
This is not widely known, but all spiders are incredibly racist. You don't want to know what the Black Widows say about the Brown Widows. It's ugly. It's ugly. Toxic, even. Dave, sorry.
I want to answer it. I think she takes too many Ambien and wanders off to a nut farm in Hawaii.
That is what the real Roseanne did. We're looking for what the character Roseanne did. The character Roseanne is much nicer. Sebastian.
She was in a horrible accident, but don't worry, she's alt-right now.
Oh. Do you think Roseanne spends a lot of time on 4chan?
So much.
So much?
I want to believe yes.
I doubt she can turn on her phone.
Yeah. Not like the good parts of 4chan where like femboys are trading butt pics, but like the bad parts of 4chan where everybody's a Nazi. Well, they're Nazis in both places, but
I imagine there's a fair amount of overlap.
yeah. All right. Anybody else? Yes, Craig.
Her TV family wrote her out after a series of racist
Oh
tweets.
no. Oh no, that's so sad. Disowned at Thanksgiving. Yes, Sebastian.
She was arrested after the January 6th Capitol riots.
Was she leading them? Was Roseanne at the front of that?
Roseanne, you know the person with the horns and the fur cape? That was
shaman.
Roseanne.
The QAnon shaman was Roseanne Barr.
You heard it here first.
That's why the QAnon shaman had all those weird dietary restrictions in prison. That's what Hollywood does to you. All right, anybody else? All right. So the real answer is, oddly enough, that she died of a drug overdose. They were doing an opiate addiction storyline. Roseanne had been overprescribed, and they decided to just use it to kill her off. So she died in her sleep. Yeah.
The true American way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a lot of other stars.
Who says that Roseanne doesn't get small Midwestern America?
Of a drug overdose.
Like, it's so accurate. Like, it's like, that's really what happens. to
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But it is such a fuck you to the creator of that show.
It really is. It really is.
The only more realistic way would be if she drank the water in Michigan and got Legionnaire's disease.
All right. Moving on. The next question. The category is McFly for a white guy. What was the original title of Back to the Future? Yes, Craig.
Back to the Future 2, because it's a movie about time travel, so the sequel would come first.
I love it. I love it so much.
All right.
I think it's My Father, the Incel.
Yes. Like My Mother the Car, except with less sex. Kanin.
Isn't that the true story of how black people stole rock and roll?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We see the scene, right? You got to hear this. From then on. Tell Twitter. Anybody else? Yes, Sebastian.
Try Not to Fuck Your Mom, the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. They did, that was a Rick and Morty episode. Speaking of things that turned out to be sexually grotesque.
Apt.
Yeah. Anybody else? All right. So the real answer is, well, it was pitched as Rick and Morty, but not made by sex criminals, as it turns out. But the original title was Spaceman from Pluto, which is the dad's science fiction novel, I believe. Okay, moving on to the next question. The category is Jack the Skipper. Why did Johnny Depp stop playing Captain Jack Sparrow after the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Yes, Amy.
He found a better project with a crazier plot twist, more drama, and a massive audience appeal.
Oh, what was that?
He's divorced.
Oh, no. It's true. It probably earned more money at the box office than anything he's been in since Edward Scissorhands. Which I'm surprised didn't make an appearance during the divorce proceedings, honestly. Yes, Kanin.
I heard they wouldn't let him do his own wardrobe.
How would it be any different if he did it as his own wardrobe?
It's a union thing.
It's a union
right?
thing?
It's all
Okay.
just union.
Okay. Joseph.
Did he leave to get finger extension surgery so he can wear even more rings on?
Yes.
I think
Yes. Screen Actors Guild has very generous medical leave for cosmetic surgery, as you would expect. Yes, Joseph again.
Is it to play himself in the movie adaptation of his divorce? Is that also?
I would hope so. He's probably going to need the money. Yeah. All right. The real answer is, of course, that Disney fired him after Amber Heard's allegations surfaced. Too bad. He lost out on more millions of dollars. Let's all feel sad for Johnny Depp and his scarves. All right, moving on to the next question. The category is Hangin' with Dr. Cooper. Are you guys all too young for that? All right.
I think I might be, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
Chuck Lorre's hit sitcom The Big Bang Theory was originally pitched with a different title. What was it? Yes, Dave.
The it's okay to laugh if we don't specifically say Sheldon has autism theory.
Is it? I guess it is on network TV. Joseph.
Is it Love on the Spectrum?
It was in the later seasons, apparently.
Really lent into it.
Somewhat less exploitative than the real Love on the Spectrum, which I hope to be on one day. Sebastian.
Untitled project we're making just so obnoxious fake nerd hipsters can say I prefer the IT crowd, even though the IT crowd isn't actually any better. They just think it's more sophisticated because it's British and has like 9 episodes produced over 4 seasons.
Did he breathe through that?
Do you mean 4 series?
Fuck you.
Yeah, okay. For the record, the IT crowd is not any better than the Big Bang Theory. Sorry, guys. Yes, Amy?
Incel stories?
Incel Story sounds kind of wistful, right? Like an indie production, a lot of dramatic photography, a lot of sad young men brooding in the light of a monitor. Incel stories.
This week on Lifetime Story.
Yeah, they should have a network like Lifetime, except for incels.
It's called YouTube.
Yeah, oh, you're right.
No, I believe it's called 4chan.
Yes, Joseph.
To Kill a Mockingnerd.
Oh, no. Is that what happens in the finale? I didn't watch it.
It's the sequel of... it's to watch that.
They kill young Sheldon?
Brutally.
Oh, no.
He's killed by Roseanne Barr.
All right. So the real answer is apparently it was called Lenny, Penny, and Kenny, which was just missing Spenny, I guess.
Say, who's Kenny in it?
I think Kenny was probably originally Sheldon.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you imagine Kenny Cooper? Kenny Cooper is the kid who pooped himself in 3rd grade. He's not a physicist.
Kenny Cooper's the kid who now worries about a tax increase yet making $30,000 a year.
But he votes with his interests. That's all right. Next question. The category is Up in Markham. What recent Pixar movie takes place in Toronto and was their first feature to have a Chinese main character? Amy.
Making Asian parents apologize.
It's amazing what they can do with animation these days, huh? Things you would never see in real life.
Yep.
Yes, Kanin.
Was it Big Trouble in Little Cell Phone Repair Shop?
Another little indie gem, I think. Dave.
Crazy rich UFT students.
Yes. But the truly rich ones go to, what's it called now? Toronto Metropolitan University. They don't have the grades for U of T. I went on a date with a crazy rich Chinese international student once. It was really nice. He paid for a lot of stuff, and I didn't even have to do anything because he was too shy. It was great.
It was a psyop for sure. They were coming in.
That sounds like the perfect date.
Yeah.
You get paid and don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it was good. Anybody else?
All the GTA real estate ads.
I think the GTA real estate ads would be improved with a Pixar look, or could you imagine one of those benches or bus stops just attached to a huge balloon going up into the sky? It's prices are going up. You'll never be able to afford this, but I still get a piece. All right. Thank you, guys. The real answer is, of course, the Great Wall, E. That was such a dad joke. I really didn't want to do it, but I'm glad I did. No, the movie is Turning Red. Turning Red. See lots of classic Toronto landmarks from back when things were still affordable here. Moving on to the next question. The category is Uncut Cocks. What could that be? Streaming. Streaming may now be king, but cable TV still exists. It's cable, Cox Cable in the United States. What is the highest rated cable TV show that isn't football? Sebastian.
American football.
Oh. Shots fired. Shots fired. What about Canadian football? What is your opinion?
I don't have one because I didn't know that it existed.
Yeah. No, it's 100 meters instead of 100 yards.
Oh.
I think that may be the only difference. I'm not sure.
That's
There's
different.
more downs as well. We have
There's more downs? Oh, that's nice. Oh, they give you more chances. That is very Canadian.
Canadians are just more forgiving.
Yeah.
More chances to get
Thank you.
CTE.
It's actually done with a wiffle ball. That's why
Yes, Kanin.
Was it 90 Day Hostage?
No, it was not 90 Day Hostage.
Oh, what about The Amazing Aryan Race? Was that
No.
it?
Fox News does not count.
What, Honey, I Married a Mule?
Does anybody else have an answer?
Whatever channel they leave on in the coma ward, because that's got to be the only people watching cable these days.
Yeah, I think they turn it to Bravo, and it's like the movie Awakening, except instead of a miracle drug, all the patients get up and walk out because they can't stand to watch a single extra minute of... Fuck, what's wrong with me? Andy Cohen, the one who gets drunk on New Year's. But except not this year, apparently.
Oh, so they literally become The Walking Dead.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is a lot like The Real Housewives, so I understand the draw. Yes, Dave.
their own reflection in the turned off TV as they get high on too many opiates.
Yes.
Burned out home.
Oh,
America's
Roseanne.
great.
love that show.
You rang in, right, Joseph?
I did. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, was it static as all the news channels closed down?
It's just an Indian head because because the network refuses to go woke.
yeah.
Okay, so the actual answer is Yellowstone, the TV drama Yellowstone. Speaking of things that have a very conservative outlook, apparently, it is on the Paramount Network, formerly known as Spike TV, formerly known as TNN. One of these days, they'll hit a brand.
Yeah, I love how it's not even on like one of the 5 networks we know.
No.
It's like not ABC, it's not NBC, it's not CBS. It's the Paramount Network?
Paramount has their own streaming service now.
Everyone has their own streaming.
Yeah, but it's got all of the Twilight Zone. So there's one good thing on it. Yeah.
The one good thing is
Yeah.
the Twilight Zone about having cable.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have cable just for the Twilight Zone.
That's it for the first pop quiz. We're going to move on to meet your contestants. Are you guys excited to meet the lovely people before you today? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So, introducing the Cinemaniacs. First up, Sebastian D. Chow just spent the last 6 months wearing sunglasses indoors because he forgot he could turn down the brightness on his phone. Sebastian, what is the best movie ever made?
It's an early French movie called, I believe I'm saying this right, L'arrivée d'un train en gare de la Ciotat, and it's about where a train slowly moves out of camera, and then it was so frightening to the people who had never seen a movie before. I'm just kidding, guys. It was on Pornhub.
Yeah.
And there was still a train, but it was different.
Yeah. It just kept going into the tunnel over and over again, and
Yeah,
then there were
absolutely.
like other trains.
Yep.
And what was going on with your French? Like
What? I don't know anything. I just.
No, I know.
You know,
I
I'm on
usually
the
make
hub,
fun
dude.
of Canadians for not speaking French despite studying it for 8 years. So I guess you get a pass.
Okay.
You didn't take it in school?
No,
Okay.
I've never even. Yeah, the one time that we went to Humorfest.
Yeah. That
For
was the
this
only
show,
time you've
that
ever
was the
spoken
only time,
French?
yeah.
Okay. Pass. All right. Give Sebastian a hand, everybody. All right. Moving on. Joseph Whittle knows his place in the world, and it is very much average. With parents who prefer his brother, Joseph's only real talent turns out to be being a firstborn second child. Joseph, how do you know your parents prefer your brother?
It's in like the way they introduce us to strangers. They'll be like, "Oh, this is Joe. He's our eldest. He's a comedian in Toronto, and this is Daniel. He's our favorite." It's subtle, but it's there. You know, it's classy.
You mean being a comedian doesn't buy you points with the parents?
No. The problem is he's also like a PhD student at the University of Oxford, so I'm very behind.
Oh. If it's any consolation, I was a PhD student once. So it can still turn out badly for him.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm praying for his downfall any day now. Any day.
All right, give Joseph a hand, everybody. Next up, Kanin Kuntz works in film and television where he chases the legacy of his great-uncle Alfred Hitchcock. So far, all he's done is watch women through the eyes of a painting. Not right now, obviously. Kanin, what is your favorite painting to watch women from?
I used to have this delightful little place in France. I was staying at the Louvre for years. I used to watch women from the Mona Lisa painting. And then it all went south this year with that tomato soup incident.
Yeah.
That was not really them being bad women. That was more me just being a creep inside a painting.
We've split the crowd.
Oh, good. I'm glad these two get to vote later. We'll see how that goes.
You didn't expect to have the fucking real deal in the audience.
Oh, my head is far too big to be in that painting.
Don't you recognize the sparkle in his eyes?
I like the effort. It's 10 for 10 on the effort.
All we have is
Didn't you
His
see?
name is Tom Louvre.
the grandfather is. The inventor of the Louvre.
Didn't you see
CIA.
Kanin's guest spot in Glass Onion? All right, thanks. Give Kanin a hand, everybody. All right, up against the Cinemaniacs are their mortal enemies, the Couch Potatoes. First up, Craig Fay is the last surviving Blockbuster employee after Netflix took the rest out to the back of the strip mall for the Ol' Yeller treatment. Craig, what do you miss most about those video rental days?
I think what I miss most is I worked there in high school, so like my parents' friends would come in and they would like recognize me and they'd be like, "Oh, Craig, we didn't know you work here. That's so nice. Good for you, getting a job," and all the rest. Like, and you'd be like the people that you still called Mr. and Mrs. You know what I mean? Like those sort. And they'd be all like proud and be like, "Okay, say hi to your parents for me," and then I would tell them that they had a late fee, and they would swear at me, like the thing that people don't remember about those rental days is just how much adults would like openly swear at children, for late fees. It was unreal.
Yeah, $3 is a big deal.
Inflation.
Yeah. But I'm sure you could come to an arrangement with your mom's hot friends.
It's creeping me out. Holy fuck.
All right.
You're getting creepy, man.
Give Craig a hand, everybody.
Creepy Craig.
Next up, after failing her audition for Crazy Rich Asians, Amy Yu decided to commit to being broke by becoming a stand-up comedian. Amy, what's the most useful thing you learned from social media in 2022?
I got a mental health diagnosis from TikTok.
Nice.
I learned that I have ADHD from the Gen Z white girl on TikTok. I think that's the new millennial trend now, you know?
Yeah.
ADHD, anxiety, and depression. The millennial golden trifecta.
It seems more fun to be on multiple personality TikTok, I have to say. You get to have other people, some of them more successful than you. It's good.
Way more successful.
Yeah, thank you. All right, give Amy a hand, everybody. You spent 40 years
doing a job, and they're way more successful than me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have $70 million.
Yeah, yeah. You know, TikTok doesn't pay for viral content, unlike YouTube and other platforms.
Right.
So, all right. Last up, among the couch potatoes, Dave Luca has been described as a convicted cinephile.
Slight typo there.
After being abandoned as a baby at an art house cinema, he taught himself English by watching all the films of Darren Aronofsky. Now he's fluent in English, as long as it's preachy and convoluted. Dave, what's your favorite post-credits scene?
Thanks, Alex. I think my favorite post-credit scene has to be the one in Black Panther when Chadwick Boseman gets his colonoscopy results back.
Oh, no.
He died of
Yeah. That's okay. I don't think we're allowed, like, by law to make fun of Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, I'm breaking barriers.
Yeah.
Is my ex-CIA guy with me?
Yeah, Dave, you're truly a hero tonight.
Oh, excellent. We have questions for you later.
Classic CIA.
All right. All right, give Dave a hand, everybody. Give Dave a hand. All right, that is it for Meet Your Contestants. We're going to move on to the next section of our game, which is called What the Hell is This? And What the Hell is This? We show our panelists a series of weird and wonderful images and ask them the eternal question, what the hell is this? All right, are you guys ready for your first weird and wonderful image? Woo! All right. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this? Sebastian.
Jeff Dunham's new puppet.
Dave.
The average attendee at the X.
Kanin.
That's me and my last tooth still eating candy.
Is everybody stumped?
I was going to say, what is this from, can I ask?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's
No,
from.
I reveal what it is at the
okay,
end.
good. I was just like,
That's the point of the game show.
I'm pretty sure this is most, stand-up audience members, just the way they look.
All right. Well, I will tell you what it is then. This is a still from Zygmunt and the Sea Monsters. I guess it's Sigmund because it's English, not German. This is from the 2017 Amazon reboot of the 1973-74 Sid and Marty Krofft children's show. They're the same creators as HR Pufnstuf.
Okay.
And so this show is about two brothers named Johnny and Scott Stewart who discover a friendly young sea monster named Sigmund who had been thrown away by his comically dysfunctional undersea family for refusing to frighten people. And so mischief ensues when they try to hide him from his brothers, who are named Blurp and Slurp, because they want Sigmund to scare people. Anyway, that's what this is.
So the parents named the first child Blurp, the second child Slurp, and the third child Sigmund.
Yeah. They started getting into Wagner. It coincided with a shift in their politics.
They always love the youngest the most.
Yeah.
Slip from Blip to we gotta change him. He's living out of control.
What you don't want is for him to have a twin named Sieglinde, because then they definitely fuck. That is a real thing that happens in the rain cycle. All right, thank you guys. We're gonna move on. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this? Yes, Joseph.
Is this every white girl trying to learn a new TikTok dance?
Is this the wrong way to use the office printer?
It may be the right way to use the office printer. Yes, Amy.
Ronnie Chiang making the really inappropriate underage robot porn.
She's still wearing all of her clothes, but I guess with the robot it doesn't matter, does it? Because there's nothing to reveal. Yes, Dave.
The latest reboot of To Catch a Predator.
To Catch a Predator, Office Edition. Oh, that was almost romantic, the way your hands touched.
Is that my HR rep on the way to tell me about my last email?
She does. She is dressed like an HR rep, though, isn't she? All right, so this is from the current movie, Megan. This is written with 3 lines or a 3, out in theaters now. Megan is a lifelike AI prototype designed by Gemma, a brilliant roboticist working for a robotic toy company. When Gemma unexpectedly becomes the guardian of her 8-year-old niece, Katie, Megan is assigned to the role of friend and teacher, playmate and protector, and nothing goes wrong. Nothing at all. This movie is actually great. I highly recommend it. Even though I'm suspicious of movies with reviews this good, it was actually really fun. So this podcast is sponsored by Megan. Please give us money. All right. Panelists, I ask you now, what the hell is this? Yes, Sebastian.
Jeff Dunham's new puppet.
Also Jeff Dunham's new puppet. Amy.
I'm in love with your punk dad.
Craig? Oh, sorry. It looked like your hand was on the ringer.
Is this Doug Ford sitting on the lap of his donor?
Doug Ford saying what?
Sitting on the lap of his donor?
Oh, sitting on the lap of his donor. He wishes he had hair that cool. Yes, Craig.
What Warp Tour would actually look like if it was still going on? Is everyone in knee braces and canes being like, I remember them before they sold out.
Sebastian.
A lifelong learner just finally got his degree.
Yeah.
And as a reward, he gets a lap dance from an old biker.
That's what got me through my PhD. Dave.
This is an OCAD student explaining to his dad that he's a piece of shit.
He thought he was going to find a second career in art, didn't he? Kanin.
This is the headlining act at the French version of Just for Laughs.
Well, that's scarily accurate, actually. Dave.
This is every podcast with Jordan Peterson.
He does look a little like Jordan Peterson, doesn't he? I mean, if he took a lot of drugs for a long time and got a little more wan in the face.
I don't think antidepressants count.
No, I mean if this actor did, not if Jordan Peterson did. Yeah, we all heard the Russia saga. Amy.
Daddy issues PhD edition.
Yeah. The only reason people stay in school that long is because they have daddy issues, by the way. Yes, Joseph.
Is this going to be me and Dave Luca in like 30 years?
I want to know which one of you is Mohawk Punk and which one of you is Scholar.
Weird amalgamation.
I was going to say, I think we could switch roles every night.
Oh, as you do now. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. So this is a still from an episode of the British series Inside Number 9, which is a kind of dark, satirical, not quite Twilight Zone, but very twisty show for the BBC. This episode is called Bernie Clifton's Dressing Room, and it's about an old comedy duo getting back together for one last performance. Until the twist, obviously. I highly recommend this very uneven show.
Uneven? No.
It is extremely uneven, but occasionally brilliant. Their 2018 Halloween special was live, and for live television, it was probably the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. I wish I had seen it live.
So good.
Oh, you saw it?
I saw it live.
You saw it live?
It was so good.
Wasn't that amazing?
I was in England at the time when it was happening.
Oh,
It was
okay.
crazy to watch.
This is the part of the show where we just get recommended movies
Yeah.
and TV shows.
Watch it. It's good.
This episode's sponsored by Inside Number 9. Like they have that kind of money. All right, moving on. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this?
Is this
Joseph?
Dan Donnelly when he makes that hanging with Dr. Cooper joke?
I wish my hair would grow like that. Dueling Bells. Amy first, and then Sebastian.
How I feel about every creepy old man who tried to add me on Facebook.
Hey, babe, how's it going?
Okay, I'll stop tomorrow.
Sebastian?
This is an overdose on Rogaine.
Oh, no. You can't overdose on Rogaine, I hope. Dave Luca?
This is obviously footage of me on my 28th birthday.
No,
this is an overdose of Cialis.
Oh, no.
Get up here.
See podcast. See podcast listeners, real people do come to this show.
Real girl.
All right.
Yep, real people do.
I'm now starting to think that's a ghost.
This is a character played by Dave Luca in the
Is that the guy in the audience as he slowly disintegrates? Is that him?
It might be. It might be. It depends. It depends on what he orders at the bar. It depends on what he orders at the bar. All right. Thank you, guys. So this is a pretty famous scene from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Walter Donovan has chosen poorly. He chose the wrong grail. Too golden and bejeweled, not the cup of a carpenter. And so suffers whatever this is.
Do you
Yeah.
guys know what that is, though? Like, raise your hands if you've seen that before.
I believe it's called old age.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, no,
We've all seen it.
This is a comedy show.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. We're going to move on to the next one. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this? Sebastian.
We know all the pedophiles of the 70s.
This is Pee Wee about to get a blowjob from Zoltar.
You would think if that happened more often, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble. Yes, Kanin.
Is that the guy that told him to jerk off in that theater?
Yeah. Don't we all have a little head floating around telling us to jerk off in movie theaters? Like Fred Flintstone did. He was called what? The Great Kazoo? Yes, Amy.
Pee Wee trying to ask the head of Genie from Aladdin to grant him 3 wishes. I don't know that. I think
Will
that's
Smith?
a lame answer.
What would Pee Wee's wishes be? I wonder.
A lot of memory erasing, I think.
Yes, Joseph.
Is this how we know we're going into a recession?
Yeah, this is how they get all the economic reports that they put in the newspaper. That's Paul Krugman, actually.
Interest rates are going up.
Yes, Dave.
This is the opposition meeting with Justin Trudeau.
Pee Wee would be a Tory, wouldn't he? He's like, those bastards stole my bike. That bike was mine. Don't they respect private property?
It's green face. It's okay. You're allowed to do green face.
Not on Zlorknab. All right. So everybody knows what this really is. This is from Pee Wee's Playhouse, children's TV show in 1986. I don't know how anybody thought Pee Wee Herman was appropriate for children, but there we go.
Making all these
This is the genie Jambi, who usually came out once per episode and granted a wish when everybody repeated the phrase, Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Heiny Ho.
Is that racist?
Yes.
Probably. But we're going to do it anyway. Repeat it and we'll grant the wish.
Oh boy.
Can you say that on television?
You're right about them. They are thieves.
Yeah. All right.
I don't care what my mom says. I hate the Irish.
Thanks, everybody. We've got one more, I think. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this?
Elvira.
Thank you. Thank you, audience member. Craig.
Impressive.
It is.
We were all thinking it. I'm the one who said it.
It is very impressive. Amy.
Prison Break E-Cup edition.
This is a lady getting into a club that the bouncer just told me was full.
Very full. Very full.
At least from what I understand, this might be Orange is the New Black.
Is this just conservatives' worst nightmare?
It is now that she's come out as a lesbian. Craig.
Quality control at the chain factory.
Yeah, really.
Got to do it again, guys. Come on. A woman's breast should not be able to burst through these things.
Lululemon stock.
Yeah.
Also a metaphor for the U.S. steel industry.
I think so. Wait, forced feminization is what ended the U.S. steel industry?
I believe this is all women breaking the chains of oppression. This is how we're going to do it, folks.
Yes.
That's right.
All right.
I have a wet dream.
Or at least just 2 of them.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. So this is... This is a clip from Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, her feature-length movie in 1988. The synopsis is, upon arriving in a small town where she inherited a rundown mansion, famous horror hostess Elvira battles an evil uncle and townspeople who want her burned at the stake. It's actually a pretty fun movie, despite what it sounds like. Okay.
Is this podcast sponsored by...
This podcast sponsored by Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, 1988. It is on
Pirate Bay.
It is currently on Amazon Prime, like all movies like that tend to be.
Honestly, those writers really got middle America.
All right, thanks, guys. We're going to move on to the next pop quiz. All right, the next question. The category is data re-entry. Ki Hui Kwan, until recently best known as Indy's sidekick Short Round in The Temple of Doom and Data in The Goonies, has had a career resurgence recently after starring in Everything Everywhere All at Once. What did he do in the meantime? Yes, Sebastian.
He left Harrison Ford a lot of unanswered voicemails.
Aw, poor kid. Poor kid. Yes, Amy.
He suffered the shame of being all the worst Indiana Jones movie until the skull of the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out.
Yeah.
Doesn't even remember
Until the skull of the...
What was the bad one?
Indiana Jones, and then please, can I have a refund?
Like, she saw him in the fridge in the nuclear blast and then checked out. Who knows?
Aliens in that movie for no reason.
That was the point.
Well, the thing about Indiana Jones is like all of the mythology turns out to be true in the end, but it feels different with aliens. I agree. Are we all looking forward to the new one coming out? Yeah.
Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic, really.
Wow. You gotta have hope, man. You gotta...
I'm boldly pessimistic. Boldly pessimistic.
All right. Yes, Dave.
He went into porn under the stage name Short Round, doing film parodies such as Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, that's where it all ends up. Greg.
Like all child stars, a lot of therapy.
Yeah,
He's in a lot of
lot.
therapy.
A lot of therapy. Yeah, let's just say it took years of work to process his childhood experience with One-Eyed Willie's treasure map. Yes, Kanin.
When the LCBO said their data was stolen, he was the data.
Yes, Joseph.
Was it anything, anywhere, any of the time? Is that what he was doing?
That was the sequel porn.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. So the correct answer is, of course, that he teamed up with Star Trek The Next Generation's Brent Spiner for a series of poorly received Data and Data adventure shorts. No, actually, he was a fight choreographer and an assistant director, apparently. He managed to stay in Hollywood, kinda, over all those years. All right. Moving on to the next question. The category is Doctor Strange. In the ABC medical drama The Good Doctor, what is unusual about the titular Dr. Sean Murphy? Craig.
They're letting Irish people be doctors now?
Let's just say that he may not have had the test scores, but he looked real nice on the med school brochure. Yes, Sebastian.
To show dominance, he shoves the tongue depressor all the way down your throat.
I mean, have you seen Freddie Highmore? Like,
No.
we would all be lucky to choke on that popsicle stick. Let me just say.
I'll take your word.
Yeah, you will, and you'll Google it after the show. Yes, Joseph.
Does he have surprisingly long fingers?
Okay, now you're just teasing me. So the correct answer is that he looks exactly like Norman Bates, because he also played Norman Bates. Okay. Dr. Sean Murphy has autism. He has autism. This is an American adaptation of a South Korean show, also about a doctor with autism. And they also have a show about a lawyer with autism. This seems to be a trend in South Korean television. I don't know why that is. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. The category is mob aggro. In Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, it's implied that the mob was behind what world-changing political event? Joseph.
Was it the debut of Pop-Tarts?
Yes. Nothing has changed the world more than the debut of Pop-Tarts. Yeah. Was the CIA behind the debut of Pop-Tarts? I guess we'll never know.
We're on to him. Get him.
Yeah.
Take him down. Is it replacing Joe Biden with an even older body double?
I don't know if that's possible, actually, but Kanin.
Was that Howard Dean scream? Where
That was unfortunately just a regular run-of-the-mill establishment media conspiracy to destroy the reputation of the only anti-war presidential candidate in 2004.
Yeah, definitely not too much Jameson.
No,
definitely not Jameson.
No, definitely
at all.
not too much Jameson. Yes, Joseph.
Is it the filming of the Titanic?
Okay. Yes, Sebastian.
Is it the filming of The Irishman?
That is more likely, probably. So the real answer is the JFK assassination. The JFK assassination, which we all know was definitely not a mob hit because the CIA did it. Not that they don't cooperate. All right, moving on to the next question. The category is cruising for a bruising. Tom Cruise was nearly killed performing what dangerous stunt? Yes, Amy.
Pretending to be straight for 30 years?
Yeah. Took a lot out of him. Took a lot out of him. Put a lot into him, too, but took a lot out of him. Dave.
That's a trick question. Tom Cruise can never die, and Scientology has some good points.
Yeah. You're looking for a career, aren't you? Greg?
Also a trick question. Tom Cruise has already died, and the Church of Scientology is doing like a whole weekend of Bernie's thing.
Yeah. You should have seen what they had to do to get him to jump on the couch on Oprah. It was like a whole like fishing line, marionette stuff. It was great. They did the same thing for Prince Harry, by the way, in case you were wondering. All right. The real answer is there are 5 events in which Tom Cruise has nearly been killed. So you can like read a BuzzFeed listicle or something. He was once nearly beheaded on a mechanical horse. Another time, almost drowned when his parachute filled with water and dragged him under the sea, and many other events. But
I want to see that deleted scene.
Yeah. I guess Scientology works. I guess is the only thing we can draw from that. Okay, moving on to the next question. The category is, it's Miller time. In order to remain true to the crucible setting during the Salem witch trials of 1692, what did prominent method actor Daniel Day-Lewis refuse to do for the entire shoot? Dave.
Stop screaming and calling the camera a one-eyed demon.
You know, it's true that in 1692, worshiping the one-eyed demon would get you burned, but not for witchcraft. Kanin.
He insisted that no one could read back then, so he wouldn't have to learn any lines and just improvise the whole film.
Yeah.
A witch. Any suggestions?
No, it's a good thing that yes and is exactly how witch trials work. Yes, Joseph.
Did he refuse to stop referring to certain crew members with outdated racial terms?
Yeah, unfortunately. Luckily, they were so outdated, nobody understood them. He was like, "Sir, you are a blackamoor." And he's like, "What?"
Sir, get that coal off your face.
This was pre-COVID.
What even is a patty man? I don't even know.
Okay, the real answer is that, of course, in true McCarthyist fashion, he refused to name names. And we can all respect it. No, he refused to bathe for the duration of the shoot. Wow, method acting, guys.
They probably bathed in 1692. Like,
They did, of course they bathed in 1692.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, maybe witches
Soap
didn't
is
bathe.
witchcraft.
All right.
Shampoo is the devil's lotion.
Well, they didn't have shampoo. They just had regular soap, which they had to put on their hair. But they did wash in 1692. I'm a historian. You can believe me. Moving on to the next question. The category is the 30-year-old virgin. In the Japanese TV drama Cherry Magic, 30 years of virginity can make you a wizard? What magical power does the shy and unremarkable salaryman Kiyoshi Adachi gain after reaching his 30th birthday as a virgin? Amy.
He can make all the women at the open mic disappear.
Yes. I think you only have to get to 20 for that one to work. Yes, Sebastian.
He can fill an entire apartment with Funko Pops.
All it takes is $950 of his parents' money.
Absolutely.
Craig.
He gets a carpal tunnel wrist brace.
Is it like Wolverine? He can like pop it out of his arm.
No, but it's a good one.
Oh, okay. That's nice for him, I think. He probably really needed it. Okay. The correct answer is, of course, that he gets a 15% discount on rental vans at any Hertz dealer in North York.
That's a good deal.
But also that he can hear people's thoughts by touching them. It's actually a very cute series.
I can read that you don't like me doing
Yeah.
this.
It's not touching them in a creepy way. Usually.
Your Honor.
Is this like a Vulcan vag melt? Like, is that all this is?
In fact, it is a gay show. So he finds out that his coworker also has a crush on him.
Vulcan cock melt, I get it.
Yeah.
I read a lot of negative reviews that said that verbatim. It's a gay show, dude.
Hey, they're getting it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. That's it for this second pop quiz. Give yourselves a hand. And we're going to move on to the next section of the show, which is called Not Bloody Likely. In Not Bloody Likely, we present our panelists with a series of unusual circumstances, and they give us an idea of what might happen. All right, and we're ready to go. Are you guys ready for your first unlikely situation? First up, unlikely plot twists.
Nature finds a way. Well, forget the fucking theme park. Grab me a camera. I've got a new business idea.
Is that dinosaur porn? Is that your idea?
Keep me curious just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Clever girl.
So it turns out in the Titanic, Rose and the iceberg were in cahoots.
Oh.
Cahoots.
To get what? To get Jack's money?
It was a jewelry heist.
Oh, it was a jewelry heist. Like the Berg didn't have enough ice.
Stepbro, thanks so much for helping me out of the laundry machine without any incident.
Oh, that's sweet.
You can't see dead people. They're just regular, ugly people.
That's very good.
Next season on The White Lotus, just a regular nice vacation.
I think it's symbolic that the microphone drooped after that.
This season on House of Cards, everyone's just doing their best, you know? Just trying to get the community together.
In this K-drama, the romance with the billionaire doesn't work out.
Whoa.
Whoa.
In the end, Chandler dies.
No. That's what he gets for smoking. That's what he gets for smoking.
Indiana Jones comes back, but this time as just a storage war.
It's in the big government facility where the Ark of the Covenant is, and they're just these fat old guys who've been like smoking for 40 years. Yeah.
Indiana Jones comes back, but in this movie, it's good.
Oh, that is unexpected.
In this episode of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy just gets them all to calm down a little bit. Maybe eat some craft singles, chill.
Food of our people.
Okay, thank you guys. We're going to move on to the next one. Rejected Black Mirror episodes. Unlikely as that is.
In a world where no one can afford a house. Wait.
Dude, what if like having a phone was like bad for you?
Oh, whoa.
Just the writers and producers of Black Mirror staring straight into a camera and telling the tech industry this is not a challenge to make this happen.
In the future, we get implants where we can hear nature. The only problem, nature only wants us to pee on it.
Okay, thank you guys. We're going to move on to the next one. Film sequels no one asked for.
Every single Disney sequel.
Aww. Even Aladdin 9?
Jurassic Park 3.
How many Jurassic Parks are there? I'm not even sure. Yeah.
There's too many.
A Rocky sequel where Rocky is now retired and on for the greatest battle of his life. A speech tour, and his last opponent, his speech therapist.
It's like The King's Speech, but with Sylvester Stallone, which I think I would watch.
Sophie's Choice 2, The Other Kid. A short film.
Yeah. Do you want her or this hamburger?
Precious, the musical.
Oh.
To Kill a Mockingbird 2, A Murder of Crows.
By J.R.R. Martin.
Old Yeller 2, Golden Revenge.
Oh, no. Golden Revenge sounds like what nature wants you to do to it.
Marley and Me, too. He just got another dog and named it Marley.
Oh. Okay, thank you guys. We're going to move on to improbable reality shows.
Real Housewives of Everyone Just Getting Along.
Supermarket steal, where everyone just steals a bunch of stuff and no one waits at the cashier to find out who won.
Isn't that self-checkout?
Practicing Self-Love Island?
Russian roulette. The game.
What? Reality show.
I feel like it gets more exciting with every episode.
It ends after 6. Every season 6 episodes.
You hope it's 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It's a British series.
It's a British show.
We're 2 episodes in.
Keeping Up with the Khomainis.
This summer, climate change, but can climate change fast enough?
Oh.
That's the Black Mirror episode.
That is kind of a Black Mirror episode. Or a dating show.
America's Funniest Body Cam Footage.
Very good. Okay, we're going to move on. All the cartoon sound effects. Boing, boing, boing. All right, moving on to the next one. It's time for our legally mandated CanCon prompt. You're as excited as the rest of the industry.
Ice Road Uber Scooters.
Canadian Goose Clubathon, where we get celebrities like Dan Levy and Nelly. Dan Levy and Nelly Furtado, and they're stuffing coats and they're giving it to young kids, right?
Oh, that's sweet.
Anthony Bourdain's Reservations. He goes to reservations.
Oh. I don't think he does. No, he doesn't. He does spend a lot of time in Montreal, but not on reservations.
Reruns of The Big Bang Theory count, right?
Yeah, I think they do at this point.
House of PC Optimum cards.
All right, thank you guys. We're going to move on to the last one. Inappropriate, very special episodes.
That 70s show, Eric Foreman gets the draft.
Oh, no. Did they drug test back then? That seems like an easy fix.
On this very special episode of Deadliest Catch, we go to an Ontario nursing home.
Oh, no.
On next week's Maury, the Genghis Khan edition, it turns out the whole audience is his children.
Roseanne Barr dies from an opiate overdose.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Caillou goes for chemo.
Oh, at least he didn't have to lose any hair.
Mythbusters, the gender pay gap.
Oh, no.
Pee-wee Herman's apology video.
Oh, all right. Thank you, guys. That's it for Not Bloody Likely. We're going to move on We're going to move on to the last section of our game, which is called Debate Club. In Debate Club, our panelists debate important issues of the day, and you, the audience, get to decide who wins. Our first debate, arguing the proposition going to the movie theater is better than streaming. Arguing in favor is Kanin Kuntz. Arguing against is Dave Luca. Kanin, you are up first. You have 1 minute, starting now.
All right, I love the movies. There's nothing that will replace the theater. There's no home streaming service, no home box office that could ever do it. You go to the movies in a world now of climate change, it's getting hotter, it's always hotter. I go to the movie theaters, I'm cool, I'm collected. And the amenities, the escape into the reality of a movie, the escape into the fantasy of the movie cannot be done at my house. I live in squalor. I have mice, I have garbage, I can't focus on a movie. I go to the theater, I bring white wine, I bring snacks, I get hand jobs. You think I'm gonna get a hand job at home ever? No, if you get rid of movie theaters, you don't just kill the movie industry, you kill hand jobs. Are you willing to kill hand jobs? And on that, I rest my debate.
All right, thank you, Kanin. We need to go to the same movies. All right, Dave, Luca, you have 1 minute, starting now.
All right, first off, Kanan's a piece of shit, okay? Can't trust the guy with, just you get it. That makes no sense. Listen, I don't know where you're going to get hand jobs at a Cineplex, okay? If anything, streaming has justified blowjobs for like the last 20 years now. Especially for millennials. You bring them home, you don't even have to watch a movie. You just browse through the thumbnails, and sooner or later, you just get it over with. Okay, I tried to get a hand job once during a movie. I got kicked out. I didn't even get to figure out how Minions ended. It was terrible. It's not good. And I remember, theaters used to be nice. You'd go in there, there's people. Now it's terrible. You go to a movie theater, there's no one there. Okay, last time I went to the movies, it was just me and a wasp nest that was developing in the back. And if there are people there, they're usually coughing, okay? It's not good. Everyone's sick that goes to the movies. Last time I went, there was someone, it just sounded like there was a World War II tent behind me. Everyone's sick, it's gross. Fuck you. Streaming.
All right, thank you, Dave. Kanin, you have 30 seconds to respond, starting now.
I am a piece of shit. He nailed that one, okay? But the streaming, my parents stream. Now they have affairs. MK Ultra, maybe? Brainwashing? I go to the movie theater. Very little people want to give me a hand job with my girlfriend. It's very committed, all right? It's movie theaters for commitment.
All right. Movie theaters for commitment. Thank you. Kanin, Dave, you have the last word. 30 seconds starting now.
You convinced me, dude. You fucking nailed it. I'm a fucking idiot. You want to go to the movies together? That'll be great. I rest my case. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. All right. And now... And now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Kanin that movie handjobs are great? Or do you agree with Dave that you should just do that at home? All right, Kanin wins by a landslide. Moving on to the next debate. The proposition is government experiments, like in Stranger Things, are a good idea. Arguing in favor is Joseph Whittle. Arguing against is Amy Yu. Joseph, you have 1 minute, starting now.
The government lies. That's true. But wouldn't it be better if the government lies led to superpowers? That's also true. Think of every bad thing governments have ever done, and think of how many of those bad things have resulted in superpowers. According to a figure I just made up, it's almost 0. Wolverine, 11, the Michelin Man. What do all these beings have in common? They were all created by secret government projects, okay? That's why we have huge jacked man. 11 saves a small conservative Midwest American town so they can vote Trump. And the Michelin Man goes on to have a tire company tell you what food is good. Without this, where would we be? Anarchy. So thank you. And I would like to advise that for Googling this, please, the CIA, don't follow me.
All right. Thank you, Joseph. All right, arguing against government experiments is Amy Yu. Amy, you have 1 minute starting now.
Okay, government experiments are bad, okay? Like, 11 from Stranger Things is freaking depressed with PTSD and severe daddy issues. Also, all the hot guy, like the hottest guy in Stranger Things, number 1 is a psychopath. Like, how can anyone trust any super hot, like, how can any woman trust any super hot guys if, like, there's more government experiment? Also, superpower is bad. Because if everyone has superpower, is that even superpower? Also, imagine if everyone gets superpower, it's gonna make everything boring. Like, people won't find sex fun unless you're doing it when levitating. Also, like, if you can kill anyone at will, how do you develop the counter superpower to protect your ass from getting killed? Also, like, if you have the superpower to manipulate people to laugh even when you're not funny, what's the point of comedy?
Oh no! All right, thank you, Amy. What's the name of the white-haired doctor who experiments on 11?
I just know him as the white man.
Yeah, is that who you think is the hottest guy in Stranger Things? No. Oh, number 1. Right. Oh yeah, he is hot. I forgot about that. All right, Joseph, you have 30 seconds to respond, starting now.
First off, we're all already depressed. You know what I wouldn't be depressed with? With fucking fireballs coming out of my hand. You know what? Also, second point, I can already kill people at will. Nothing is stopping me. Superpowers are not the barrier of that. And thirdly, wouldn't you prefer it like if the government lied and you could like jerk off without your hands? Like, I think everyone would give into that. Like, here's the problem. People are like, oh, sex would be so boring. You'd be like, let's have some normie sex tonight. You know what I mean?
All right. Thank you, Joseph. Something to get away with in the movie theater. Amy, you have 30 seconds and the last word starting now.
Okay, here's the logistical question. If we're all gonna have superpower, how do you decide how many percentage of each superpower? And, like, how do people get jobs? Also, will there even be jobs? And like, if you can do mind reading and you can see through everyone's bullshit now, like, what is the meaning of life?
All right, thank you, Amy. All right, now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Joseph that we should all get superpowers? Or do you agree with Amy that poisoning all of those innocent people in the 60s was probably bad? No, all right, Joseph wins. We all get superpowers and trauma. And it's time for our last debate. Arguing the proposition, the golden age of TV is over. Arguing that the golden age of TV is over is Craig Fay. Arguing that it is not over is Sebastian D. Chow. Craig, you have 1 minute, starting now.
Okay, the golden age of television is not now. It is not it. What we're doing right now is we are making a lot of TV. Okay, we're making a lot of TV and some of it is good. You don't go out and see a Subway restaurant on every corner and be like, this is the golden age of restaurants. Right, we're just making a fucking lot of them. And here's the thing. All art is better when there are restrictions. The rise of streaming has completely eliminated all restrictions from things. It used to be, if you had a sitcom, it was 22 minutes long. Exactly 22 minutes long. If you had one joke in there that went over 22, you had to fucking cut it, right? Because you had to kill your babies because it had to be 22. Now it's like 18 minutes, 48 minutes, who gives a shit? It's all about restrictions. You got to fit commercials in there. They say you have so much freedom on these streaming shows. I have the freedom to wake up at noon every day and wear sweatpants every day, but you wouldn't look at me doing that and think this is the golden age of Craig.
All right, thank you, Craig. Sebastian, you have 1 minute, starting now.
The shows that come out right now are as good as ever. We had, in recent years, Stranger Things. We had White Lotus. We had The Good Place. These are a couple of the shows that came out. There's so many, as you mentioned, and so many are amazing, groundbreaking. And by the way, the golden age of TV is not older. You are older. And you have ceased to pay attention to good shows because you're stuck in the
80s? Yeah, there's so much good TV on right now, man. You just got to pay attention.
All right, thank you, Sebastian. Craig, you have 30 seconds to respond, starting now.
Speaking of paying attention, you know it's not the golden age of television because all of these streaming shows, all the ones that you mentioned, we just fucking binge watch. Like, they used to be 24-episode seasons that had to retain your attention week to week. You put it in a calendar. These shows just have to be good enough that you don't turn them off within the 5 seconds that it says, "Are you still watching?" Like, that's it. Like, all these shows, as great as they are, have just become background noise for you playing around on your phone. That's
All
it.
right, thank you, Craig. Sebastian, you have the last word, starting now.
My opponent said streaming's bad because they can make it whatever length of time. You know, they made them in that same time slot before to sell toothpaste. And so all of the art medium existed to sell the toothpaste. And now because the art exists so that people can enjoy it, you think that's a bad thing? That people can pay directly for the shows instead of like just having to sit through until the toothpaste commercial comes to sell the whole thing? That's a dumb take. I don't agree.
All right. Well, thank you, Sebastian. And now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Craig Fay that the golden age of TV is gone and we will never get it back? Or do you agree with Sebastian that dental hygiene is not that important? All right. Sebastian wins. We apparently like The Good Place. All right, and now you, the audience, get to decide who wins the game overall. Do you like the Cinemaniacs? Yeah. Or do you like the Couch Potatoes? Well, it sounds like the Couch Potatoes win. Congratulations, you win the grand prize of nothing. This has been Comedy Game Showdown Screen Time. I've been your host, Dan Donnelly. The Cinemaniacs were Sebastian D. Chow, Joseph Whittle, Kanin, Kuntz. The Couch Potatoes were Craig Fay, Amy Yu, and Dave Luca. Our next episode is I Remember the 90s, February 21st, 8 o'clock at Comedy Bar Danforth. Follow us on Patreon. It's the cheapest way to get tickets if you live in town. And thank you to our patrons. Follow us on all the socials because we're going somewhere. We're just not sure where that is. All right, thanks, guys. Have a lovely night.